and welcome to episode 3 of the Well Body podcast with me, Samantha Hale. This episode is brought to you by my free ebook, Well in 10, which includes 3 guided wellness rituals to help align mind, body and soul. It's available via my website, www.thewellbody.co.uk. And all you need to do to get yours is hit the subscribe button and it will go straight to your inbox. Remember the question from our last episode, how can I be more peaceful both within and without? Did that bring up any thoughts or feelings for you? I'd love to hear from you if it did. Please do join the conversation in the Well Body community, both on Facebook and Instagram. Today I'm going to share with you though a personal story that I feel will help to give you some context as to how I view Ahimsa and how I try to practice peacefulness every day. 10 years ago, I was in a very dark place. I found myself in what I thought was a very loving relationship. Actually, it turned out to be a very psychologically abusive relationship, and that resulted in me being completely and utterly isolated from my family and friends, both in my mind and geographically as well. At the same time, I was also being systematically bullied in the workplace by one person in particular, and this was all happening over a period of about 3 years. And whilst it's easier every day for me to talk about this experience because I am such a different person now to who I was even 3 years ago, never mind 10 years ago, if I'm honest, I don't think I have truly forgiven those people that hurt me during that time in my life. And I don't know if I ever will. And I find that very hard for me to accept in my own mind because I am all about forgiveness, because I'm a big believer that when you forgive someone, it's not about giving them some kind of power or being a pushover. It's more about doing it for your own mental health, for your own sanity, really. So for me to actually feel like I don't know if I can forgive them, I don't know if I can get past that, it's kind of weird for me to even say that because it doesn't align with kind of who I am, but yet this is the kind of position that I'm in currently. But at the same time, I know that although I still carry the baggage in a way of that time in my life, I am open to forgiving them. So although I haven't forgiven them fully yet, although I don't know if I can forgive them, I am open to that possibility. And that alone means that I am one step closer every single day to actually being able to forgive them fully. It means that I'm not completely anchored to those experiences, although I know that although I hold on to it, I am open and I know and I trust that when the time is right, it will happen, and I'm okay with that. I think what I'm trying to get across here is that practicing Ahimsa takes a lot of many different forms, and this is just one personal example. By not yet fully forgiving the people who've hurt me in my life, I carry the weight of that experience and emotional excess into all current and future relationships, thus impacting on my ability to truly practice peace, both internally and externally. But by accepting that I am human first and foremost, I give myself the grace to not allow myself to be fully anchored to the person that I was 10 years ago. That is the starting point. By remaining open to forgiving those people, I'm consciously shifting my mindset to a more positive outlook on the entire situation, and trusting that when the time is right, I'll be able to look back and feel forgiveness in my heart rather than a bitterness and resentment. The key is to remember it's not about perfection. We're all on our own journey as far as forgiveness is concerned. Bear in mind, I'm in the place I'm at now because of time. I truly believe that. What happened to me was 10 years ago. I'm a completely different person. So if I was looking at this entire situation 6 months later, a year later, maybe even a few years later, a couple of years later, and I was thinking about forgiving them, my response would be wildly different. So I know that in 10 years' time, my response to this question is going to be entirely different. And I'm totally okay with that. That's fine. I welcome that. It's not about perfection. It's about creating that awareness so that when we take those positive steps every single day, and it's totally fine if they are the tiniest of baby steps, it's knowing that we're still headed in the right direction and not remaining stuck in the quicksand of unhappiness. I think I said in the last episode, I find it really easy to relate to Ahimsa initially because I immediately decided that I already practiced it by being vegan. For me, that was enough. This is going back about 8 months now when I first learned a little bit about what Ahimsa is. And I remember writing in my journal, I practiced this with ease through my veganism. And yeah, through my veganism, I do practice it with ease, but it is embedded in all parts of my life, right? You have to practice it in all areas of your life, not just one. So I've learned recently it's not the only way that I can practice Ahimsa. It's one way, and I feel a great way, but it's not the only way. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you found this episode helpful and informative. I will see you back here on Friday, where I'll be sharing some self-inquiry questions and affirmations to help deepen our understanding a little bit more. And please do feel free to join the conversation both in the Facebook community and on Instagram. Take care, stay well, bye.